Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz. It is June 20, 2017 at 1:58 a.m. Birmingham. Topic: when that window closes, the church will be called home. Even after that, the Luciferian reign will never return because they, ironically, they think they're above all, but they're still under someone else. And they don't know that because they haven't read the Bible. They don't know the Bible. And I won't get into Al Gore. Sorry about that. He's one person that makes me sick all the time. When the church goes home, the judgments start immediately. And it's highly likely that the most favored nation on this earth, which is the United States, that had the most, that was given by God, because we came to God on godly principles. We had a man that built this country based on God being in charge. His name was on our money. His name's in our hearts. We had more churches than any other country on earth. We were blessed more than any country on earth, but yet we did good with it for a time, and then we stopped. We started falling back little by little and taking the blessing that God gave us and spreading it to the world in the form of sending missionaries out. That slowly began to back off. And why did that happen? Well, because the Luciferian reign got tighter on us. That's why it happened. The church and state separation began to have a deeper divide in it. And when you start being divided in such a way, then the funds begin to dry up because they're taking more of your money in the way of taxation, increase the taxes and prices of everything. They just hold you back. They try everything they can do to stop you. Let me tell you, right now, today, there has been, and I watched several of these last night, and I knew this, but until I saw it and watched it, I could not comprehend it. Chinese are coming to Christ by the thousands every single day. And I would say there's probably more Chinese coming to Christ than there are Christians or Americans. Let me tell you why. They have underground churches throughout China. They're not hunted down today like they will be just after the rapture. After the rapture, they'll be hunted down. Today, they're out there preaching. They're underground. They're hidden. They're in the countryside. They're in the mountain. They're in caves. They're in places. And there was one man telling a story that he went by invitation. He came in, he was snuck into the countryside, and he started preaching. He preached for 10 and a half hours the first day, actually the first night, starting at 6:30 p.m. Take that back, starting at 8 p.m. and ended at 6:30 a.m. 10 and a half hours that man preached. They asked him, would he please come again tonight? He said, again? He preached another night, 10 and a half hours. And then a third night, 10 and a half hours. Keep in mind, one man preaching nonstop the Bible to Chinese people that are starving for the Word of God. Two things. One, they were standing there, standing room only, in temperatures upwards to 120 degrees. Not one person left the room at any time, and not one sat down at any time. And the reason they were so hungry, so starving for the Word of God, is because they don't have a Bible. Very few of them do. And the ones who get one, you will see them burst out in tears. They'll take both arms and squeeze that Bible to their chest and start crying. I mean, just hysterical with joy. Joy. Things that we take for granted every day that's just free of charge to us, and yet we ignore what the Bible really is and what it means. Look, guys, God clearly said it. Fear not the one who can hurt the body. Fear the one who can destroy the body and destroy the soul. Man can't do that. Satan cannot do that. The Antichrist cannot do that. The false prophet cannot do that. These beasts that you see in front of you cannot do that. Only God can touch your soul. That soul's going someplace when your body dies. The pain won't be remembered when your body dies. But the pain the soul endures will have 1,000% awareness. Your brain capacity, believe it or not, is going to be 100% aware at that time. Your soul will feel things that your body can't even think about feeling today. But your soul will feel it. And you know what? One person, I've heard it more than once, but one person said, it's not the torture that the soul goes through that hurts it so bad. It's the separation from God, knowing it can never again call out to God. The soul can never scream Jesus because they won't be heard. That's worse than hell fire itself. That's worse than these creatures tearing you apart piece by piece. When the rapture of the church occurs, the United States, which was given much was expected, and it went out for a while. But here lately, until recently, it has slowed down. Now, recently, it's picked up because, again, the Luciferians over. The gospel's going back out. Look, 6 billion people, half of that is going to die. 3 billion people is going to die. You talking about 35 million a month. You're talking about 1,200 million, 1,200,000, 1,150,000 a day will die. That's because of these beasts. That's because of plagues. That's because of floods and earthquakes. That's because of the things that comes up out of the ground that stings you. That happens. You're going to have 45,000 people die per hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 30 days a month, 12 months a year for 7 years. 45,000 people per hour. And they'll die a horrible death just to wake up in hell fire and start all over, but 1,000 times greater. Look, this is the Bible. This is what hell's about. Hell was designed for Satan and Satan only. I would not risk it. I'd not even for a second. John 3:16, clearly, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, and whosoever believeth him should not perish but have everlasting life. That quick, that simple. Just don't be left behind, please. Jody Wolf Expoz.